who's going to come out flew here from New York just to be here with you tonight. He is a comedian who has made many videos supporting us while we were occupying our state capitol building. He's also been very active in the Occupy movement around the country, both on Wall Street, in Washington, D.C., Occupy Asheville, North Carolina, and Occupy Montreal. He's a contributor to The Onion, and he's been on Comedy Central, and he also writes in the Huffington Post. But he's perhaps best known for going live on Fox News and calling them a parade of propaganda and a festival of ignorance. Please welcome Lee Camp.
All right, how you doing, Wisconsin? Give it up one more time for John Nichols and everyone you see, and one more time, let them hear it so far. It's such a pleasure to be here. By the way, just as a little warning, because I'm a comedian, I use some bad words, okay? Although you will almost definitely agree with everything I'm saying, if you can't handle bad words, please step out of the room. Or if you have kids, I've got to warn you that if you've ever let your kids see Scott Walker speak, then they've seen something far more obscene than anything I can give them. But it is an incredible pleasure to be here and to help you. And not only do I think that you should recall Scott Walker, I think you should get it to the point that people cannot recall Scott Walker. 20 years from now, I want to see a conversation where, like, remember that guy? He was our commander in douche for a while. What was his name? And they're like, I can't recall. I can't. It's amazing to be here. I did actually, let's go even before when you were initially occupying the Capitol, what was going on in Egypt. I have a web series and I did a video on what was going on in Egypt. And I said, it's amazing what's going on in Egypt, and the problem is it can't happen here. Because how long could we go standing in a capitol or in a park somewhere chanting for what we stand for before we realized we were missing Glee? How long could people really go without a latte and a mani-pedi? And then, but a few weeks later, you proved me wrong, and I'm proud that you proved me wrong. It was incredible, and then I did some videos about what you guys were doing, and it's amazing to see how that, John mentioned it, how that energy has circled back around, how what's going on with Occupy 100% started here. You showed America it could be done. You did. You stood up and you showed it, and it started as a little bit of energy and it spread like a wave at a football game or a rash at a nudist colony. It's across the country. It's been absolutely amazing, and to see these, and there is an obvious link between what's going on here and what's going on with the Occupies, not just in the energy, but in the concept, what it is. It's corporate control of our government, of our democracy, of our nation. That's what it is, and so that's how it links. And to watch them go after unions, and I realize I'm preaching to the choir here, but when I talk to people in, like, New York, sometimes you have to remind them when they're, saying bad things about unions. I'm like, hey, unions are responsible for tiny, forgettable things like a weekend and a 9 to 5 and healthcare if you got it, and just getting children out of the workplace alone was crucial because kids are shitty workers. They don't know what they're doing. They're pushing all kinds of buttons on the machines, lopping dudes' arms off. You're like, what do you mean, whoopsie? You've worked here 4 years since you were 3. You should have this shit down by now, right? They just suck. And they're going after teachers, and teachers are heroes. Teachers deal with those little shitheads all day long. They get paid less than the guy at the zoo in charge of making sure the hippos mate, going to go after them, and it's just incredible. It's like a fair wage should be such an easy debate. I don't care if you have the worst job. I don't care if your job is cleaning up turds out of the corner of the turd factory. If you work full time, you should be able to afford to feed and clothe your kids. You know, first of all, right? First of all, moral thing to do. Secondly, with the size of our kids, none of us want to see them half-clothed. You know, none of us want to see a 10-year-old boy's tits bouncing up and down on a sweaty summer day. Can't we get together as a country and buy that boy some pasties? You know, come on. And I realize Bill O'Reilly would call them socialist nipple tassels, but I don't care. I'd rather have socialist nipple tassels than capitalist boy boobs in my face. Just saying. I'm gonna run for office on that platform. Yeah. All right, apparently I lost some of you on that one. Here, this is for those of you that didn't like the last one. Have you ever noticed the words unicorn and acorn both mean one corn? Okay, we all back together? All right, good. You know, and it's amazing, you know, the people that caused the 2008 collapse, and none of them have gone to jail. They're richer than they've ever been, and now they're going after unions and benefits and those kind of things. It's like, I don't even know, back then I didn't even know who to blame. Like, for a while I blamed Bush and Cheney because they're evil, and then I blamed the Democrats because they're spineless, and then for a while I blamed David Hasselhoff. That was a weird time for me, really. You know, weird time. But it is. It's the same, you know, the top 1% incredibly wealthy individual. And there's ways, we've all kind of accepted this corporate raping and pillaging of our world like it's except maybe here in Wisconsin, it's the one place they haven't, but we've all kind of accepted it like it's a Black Eyed Peas song, you know? We're like, well, it's going to be around for a while. Might as well pretend like we like it. You know, and there's little ways to fight back. There's big ways like protesting, which I think are crucial. There's little ways too. Like if your job steals your health care, just steal their staplers. Just take their staplers. Yeah, I might not get the liver transplant I need, but good luck affixing 2 pieces of paper together, you assholes, you know? Just little shit. Streak through a board meeting, slip a photo of your ass into the PowerPoint presentation. To know whose ass it was. Just little stuff, right? Take your family on a vacation to the oil-covered beaches of the Gulf of Mexico. Take a bunch of Christmas card photos, send one to the head of BP, and write, Happy Hanukkah. This oil's lasted more than 8 days. It's a miracle! It's little stuff. You know, take your money out of the big banks that have screwed our entire economy. Put it in a little bank, put it in a milk carton, and if you want to feel like you're at a big bank, every time you take money out of the milk carton, flush $1.50 down your toilet and smack your grandmother. Just like you're at a big bank. Also, going to one of the big banks, say you want to open a business account, and then when you're sitting in that little office with them discussing it, just slowly start taking a dump in your pants. Never mention it, maintain eye contact. Don't hurry, they've got nowhere to be, all right? Just let the smell fill the entire place. If they want to shit on this country, then it's going to come right back at them. Just be a thorn in their side, a wrench in the gears, and a herpes sore on their lip, you know? It might not kill them, but a million herpes sores will make them rethink who they're screwing. Lost a couple again? All right. The only reason we wrap gifts is for that 1 second of surprise. Couldn't we get the same effect by just throwing the gift at the person? And then they'd be surprised even if they knew what you were going to give them. It'd be like I knew you were giving me a clock radio, but not at that speed. But yeah, But it is. The Occupy movement is amazing to watch because it is really people finally standing up. And you can see the same media cycle that happened here happening with Occupy. It's the same strategy. It's like first ignore it and then call them dirty slobs, right? And that was the first video I did on what you guys were doing, was when you had senators calling you slobs. And I was like, you know what? Nothing noble and impassioned and powerful that has ever happened in this country has happened while clean. All right? This stuff is dirty. That's what it is. Revolution doesn't take place in a living room with your shoes off so as not to sully the carpet or the labradoodle. You know? It takes place sleeping in a Capitol building for 3 weeks. That's how it is. And then they called us down at Occupy. They called us, oh, it's just young people. It's just young people. Well, yeah, it might be young people that actually are able to sleep in some of these areas, but do look at the marches, and it's every age, color, creed. It's everybody is marching in these things. And even if it were young people, who do you think has to sit around in this shitstorm for the next 70 years? You know, who do you think has to breathe the tainted air and eat the mutated fish and watch the fetid reality shit on TV that's creating a nation of malignant imaginations? You know, who do you think has to sit in this rancid bathwater twiddling our thumbs and flicking our ding-dongs going, hey, remember back when we could have changed this thing? We should have, done something.